I come from a very large family, 16 of us. My mother, amazing, very loving, faithful Christian. My dad was an alcoholic. I think love in our family was my mom's love, because she wasn't raised with a mother. So for her, and she's conveyed this now, but she didn't really know how to be a mother. But I think she was a wonderful mother. She just doesn't see it. But her love was, you have food on the table, you have clean clothes, you're taken care of. My dad wasn't around a lot. He was your typical alcoholic. It got worse as his drinking got worse. He disconnected more. High school wasn't so good. We had a few incidences where it wasn't good. One incident where my mom ended up calling the lawyer because she'd had it. And I think a long time in my heart I blamed myself, but I knew it wasn't my fault. You know, deep down I knew it wasn't my fault, but that incident with my dad triggered her and she was done. You know, and part of me was happy she was done, but then part of me blamed myself. So when I was 21, I got pregnant and we got married because that's what you do. And really at the time I didn't want to. My first husband was a big drinker. We were never a priority in his life. And I'll tell you, I used to pray and pray that God, we just want to be a priority. I want somebody to love me unconditionally. Just to love me. I didn't even care about the unconditional part. Just love me. And, you know, I kept thinking, you know, maybe he loves me. And he just doesn't know how. Because, you know, you look at the big picture and I think he just doesn't know how. Because I blamed everything more on me than on him. Because I was more like, what can I do different? What's wrong with me? Why doesn't he love me? Why? I'm doing everything I think I'm supposed to be doing. But I didn't give up on our marriage. There was a few times I left and things just got worse. He drank a lot. He wouldn't come home for 3 days. Every time he would go out for a beer, I knew it was going to be 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And there's so many ugly things that happened that I was kind of scared. You know, when somebody takes a gun out and wants to take your child at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I would try to make up for it with my girls. So they try for him not to be yelling and being a drunken fool in front of them. I was getting to be very insecure, and I'm really not that kind of person. I had no self-worth. If you would have looked at me or not known me, you would have thought, oh, this girl has it together, she's awesome. And not that I wasn't, you know, but in my heart and how I felt about me, I had no self-worth. I had nobody tell me that, hey, you're doing a great job, you're good with, you know, you're a good mom, I never heard that. I never even heard, I love you. I had to make them say it. I would just be like, come on, tell me you love me. And I think that's probably the worst, is when somebody doesn't tell you they love you, and when you're working so hard to try to grab that acceptance or get that acceptance. And I got to the point where I felt sorry. I felt sorry for him. I felt really sorry for him because I thought he doesn't know how to love. And that's sad. I remember being mad. You know, why me? Why can't I walk in church and be a family? Why can't he come with me? Why, you know, feeling I would be jealous of these other families that come into church, and here I am with my 2 little girls, and these families look so happy, and I was just miserable inside. And it was like that for 11 years. 11 years. It was January of '98, and I woke up one morning and I was told that he was killed in a snowmobile accident. So anyway, didn't take long, but probably a half hour later my house is full of relatives, and my girls weren't awake, they were sleeping. And the first thing I remember thinking was, I don't know if they're ever gonna be able to call anybody daddy again. And those little girls, I just thought, you know, you need a daddy. You just, somebody. I prayed for, I wanted love. I prayed that that someday I would have a giving man, a spiritual man, gracious, somebody to just love me unconditional. You know, it's really a lot of work trying to get somebody to love you, and it's not gonna work, you know. It takes a lot of energy. Somebody that was just kind, and somebody that would make me and my girls a priority. Just a priority. Just want to come home, maybe just want to sit at the dinner table with us. Somebody that would give to the church, because that's what you do, you know, you got to give back. And that's what I prayed for. And this is how God works. Out of the blue, I'm mowing the lawn. And a car pulls in my driveway. Whatever, I've known him forever, but he's never stopped in my driveway before to say hi. And we kept running into each other for the next couple weeks. Just he would seem to be everywhere I was, you know. Long story short, he invited himself to go along with me and my friends to this, it was T-Bone Tuesday. He's like, well, can I come? I'm like, sure. So he did. And I think from that day on, for that next year, I don't think there was a day we didn't see each other. So a year later, we got married. And I'm married to probably the most giving, loving, trusting guy. We're a priority. He would give you the shirt off his back. And I love it. I would give you the shirt off his back. The first year or two was very hard for me. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I deserved him. I spent probably the first year in tears, but it wasn't because I was sad. It was, I don't know, it was just so overwhelming. And I think I just kept waiting for the roller coaster. And I would just say he was consistent with his love. And when I was at my crappiest, he never gave up on me. There was some trying times, but he was always there. Never condemning me, never, you know, never. Always building me up, and he still does to this day. Always. I think God gave me a second chance when he brought Charlie into our lives. My relationship with God now is, intense, I would say. Almost to the point where I don't know what to do next. He has given me so much. He has answered my prayers, not without trial, not without, you know, but he has answered them. I just trust, you know, and I've always had that faith, but you lose trust a lot, you lose it. In the whole scheme of things, I think there was a point where I think I prayed, but I don't know if you're trusting that he's hearing you. But I trust. When I pray, I know I'm heard. And you know what? I know it might not be the answer right now, that he doesn't want to answer that prayer right now, but someday it will be answered. It will. And if it's, sometimes there's hard things that you have to endure to realize that he did answer it, and it might be 10 years from now. And that's, you know, that's a message I have for people all the time. You know what? You don't know. If something is happening today, you don't know why that's happening, but 10 years from now you might say, wow. But don't lose faith, because you know what? It'll work out. It might not all be a story like my story, but it'll be a better story. It'll be a better story.